Okay, science and technology. Science and technology. This is pretty crazy technology that the Bible could be quite like this. Science and technology. This is crazy technology. The Bible could be like this that I'm outlining right here. If we take it out of print for the 500,000 year cone of Mount Rainier and just do it, I go, okay, we get then the New Testament verse 1 at John 1:18 told us to go to Luke 12 and handwrite the end of the Bible rather than Yeshua the Messiah ben Yosef in Jesus in 1611. What you would arrive at would be an apocryphal understanding of the church in Rome's apocryphal Jesus with the Gideon apocryphatic New Testament Jesus, and then remove the Bible imprint at 1611 because of the 1611 Jesus. And here at Jesus, in all literature at Jesus, just get it out of the way. And this is the no more buying or selling of books incapacity. GotQuestions.org even took the 1666 conundrum and they make note. Somebody's going to tell us to stop buying books, so stop producing. You're over $28 trillion in debt. You just need me to record this. So the 1611 authorized is what we're really looking at. No man shall see God at any time. So here we came up with anytime only begotten, beautiful word, which is in the bosom of the Father, as he hath declared him. So we wobbled around. The New Testament verse 2, Exodus 33:11, which took it out just in thought. You knew that was face to face. So studying your Bible so far and being taught now that Jesus, with this relatable of God and Moses speaking face to face, your cult that can't accept reality, that you got a book that you can't read, right here it went into, okay, with Jesus, yeah, but however, with just God, and we need him more than Jesus, the Alps were on 9/11 770 million years. So we got God and not Jesus. How old is the United States Canyon in the year 2021? God and Moses speaking face to face. Ask this internet, and it said billions of years. So can you handle that? In the year 2020, the word billions, and we think it's old now. Scientific, we've been using this for a long time. Come on, guys. How old I have to ask the question, how old are the White Cliffs of Dover when Maxwell, my dog, was born? Were they 136 million years like I was taught? The Alps are 770 million when I was collecting data for the 500,000 Mount Rainier that my teacher taught me. Was that old, teachers? Geologists, what are you doing? How old are the Alps on 9/11, 2011? Answer that question. How old are they today? How old were they on that day? And you're done. How old were the Alps on 9/11, the date of when you were told to get your Bible out of print because of that event? That is why I am explaining that Jesus is in the Quran 25 times by name. He wanted that book in your schools and for you to take Jesus off the cross from the book of Galatians, where he called you stupid idiots for having it still, and then just take it at that and go collapse as a cult pope. It's as simple as that. It is actually that simple because next I have to go. God and Moses spoke face to face at friends and explain it to NASA why that actually worked to turn off the Bible because they didn't even know that one. So the New Testament verse of NASA scientists not knowing that God and Moses spoke face to face. New Testament chapter 1, Luke. NASA scientists, you don't know God and Moses spoke face to face. Let's go to Luke 12. Okay, you're really hard 1611 because that you yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither. Such beauty, such poetry. So it's just one. This heavy and apocryphatic in my lap is representative of the internet and every Bible in print. This original, really old antique is the okay. What is this meant? This is the real thing. This is not you get a choice. This is I am reading from the original as close as I can get manuscript. I'm going to move to the Geneva Bible next. Yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither. Without the Geneva Bible next, unto the land which I give the children of Israel, who got Auschwitz, and we got the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1947. So, and this is the blessing. We had the 1946. We have this beautiful, I love this Bible. So, wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. So before his death, we're going back to 1956. He said the Lord came from Sinai. Okay, I like that. And this is a good old apocryphatic that I'm reading from. Good old apocryphatic. You hear that just doesn't even stumble. I don't have to think about it. It is a good antique apocryphatic. It is an antique apocrypha. Got questions, 6,000 year earth antique cult on the internet, all cities of Gershonites, antique Baptists, antique book, antique Mormons, and antique with 1611 still. Chills and Ancephaly in Washington State. So out of it, and to the families of the children with bleeders, whose Menurchi pattern in the year 1610 and Mamari, but I'll go to Hungary and just put that in there and say, I'm not cherry picking. I'm just letting you know what you're missing out on. In Hungary, there was an anonymous tip that the age of Menurchi was 26 years, which is actually pretty correct. So when I was in the former USSR in 92, it was actually 26 years also. So when my daughter started to bleed, it wasn't 26, it was down to 12. And since Grandma Seth started to bleed, our Grandpa Seth was popped out from Grandma Eve at 130 years, that distance in time is pretty easy to keep track of when this is in a Menurchi heavy antique in my pocket. So it's not even in my pocket. It's too big for that. And the families of the children that will take care of our daughters now, using the 500,000 year cone of Mount Rainier to look at the suburbs. Now, lol with their suburbs. Why can't this cult get off? So you got a month, and out of the tribe of Reuben, Bezer with the Z, so the Z to get the cult off, and Z and the suburbs. And Pastor Tim, you're never going to teach the 6,000 year thing again, and that's what it said. And the tribes of Gad. So we'll when I get around to it, that has to do with some of the apocryphatics in the other room. As I stare in this, the words, the pages just disappear into all of my research. Ramoth, so where you're at, Gilead and the suburbs, to go to the city of refuge of the slayer. So I'm looking at not the book of Enoch. I'm looking at the book of Jasher right here, which tied into it's my reference. So with the suburbs, and then Jezer. So Jasher, close enough. It says it's a shrug your shoulder, book of Jasher, remaining in the families of the Levites. With shrug your shoulders, this should be on me. That one should actually be in your skulls. It's a really good one. The Mormons have it. It's a really good one. It's open too. It's a really good one. I really enjoy the book again. It's actually one of my favorites, antique medieval, and it's got 3 layers, as do all of them. The book of Enoch has 3 layers, the Merkabah layer, the 3 layers of the book of Jasher. It has the one that the Mormon apocryphatics kept perfect record of. I mean, it is perfect English like this, and it is amazing. It's really true. It's trustworthy, actually. Is the one the Mormons have is actually trustworthy. Cult on the internet. And the the one I really enjoy is the antique feathered one. If you're looking for it, it's in one of the libraries around here, and that one I really enjoy. It's my favorite. It's just the antique feathered one with the brown. They took pictures of it, and that's how you read it. And there's a third one, Merkabah one, and that one's more for your children to learn how to pet their dog with and train them sign language. That one. So the Merkabah mysticals I've been talking about for the last 48 hours with the OTO opening the door back up to the Kabbalah and explaining how to get out of hell, is the right there into the pseudo Matthew. The book of Jasher went with the pseudo Matthew, which is the one of the 200,000 pseudo Matthews. It's right there with You had Book of Jasher with the 12 that went in with the books of Enoch over in the left, with the 5 that are part of the 7, and then the 6 and 7 the books of Moses, meaning it's the 7th there. So back over here where you're building your temple of what God wanted you to even see it as, but right here where you're looking at the apocryphal internet you have now, even the book of, so the book of Jasher we covered, and that actually covered, if you had researched any of it, you have more apocryphals than you have Bible verses. You actually have more apocryphals than you have Bible verses. Cult on the internet, you have more apocryphal writings than you have Bible verses. Got it? It's just taking a lot of time to arrange it around all the names. And it is really just arranging it around all the names. The book of Jasher is in there. They just have reference. So look at what. So, like the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs, where'd that fit? In the year 1666, you had to know about it. And so the Episcopalians. And it came to pass when the king so sat in his house that our Lord had given him, and his name is Jehovah, about 10 enemies is getting this cult off, that the king said in Nathan the prophet, see now I dwell in the house, why won't they leave? There's a stinky office there, even, and it's not even a house of cedar, but the ark of God calleth within curtains. I need to clean up this room and make it nicer for the ark, so I'm going to have a secret in here with some dumbbells. Then Nathias said they can't something to push up with. Do I want to buff up and maybe get a tattoo? Go all that. No, I'm not. Is on the one. I'm going to get the big knot tattoo of a knot. You don't need to see God right here. The Lord it with thee. And it came to pass that night. See how close? And then we went right here. So you just didn't know how to read it. And these went to Micah's house, so we went around. Didn't know how to read it. And there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. Take this book of the law, put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of the Lord. Even the nation will say, go ahead and talk. Wherefore hath the Lord done this into thy land? Good question, Hare Krishna Krishnas. What I just took your Bible out of print, either in the heat of the great anger. I am pretty mad you don't know what year it is. The first fruit also is corn of thy wine. The year is billions of years old, and get over it. The covenant of the Lord your God, which you made you with the God of Moses, did not poof into not speaking together years ago. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and into my judgments, because God and Moses were speaking face to face. These are the families of the Levites. God and Moses were speaking face to face, and Moses wrote down for you. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, so take note, and say unto them, when a man or a woman, this is important, separate themselves to a vow or a vow of a Nazarite, you separate themselves unto a Lord. So you kept your book in print till long at not Nazarite Jesus rather than Nazarite reconstructive Jesus the Nazarite. Let's go get that book. Okay, Jesus as the Nazarite. Jesus as a Nazarite. That's where we just arrived at. The cult on the internet. Through Testament verse 1, John 1:18. No one's ever seen God. Luke, Full Testament, haven't even read from it, but I know it. Jesus, rather than Yeshua the Messiah, using your Latin, just Jesus. And me explaining to you, no, that meant 1611 is just apocryphatic. 100% of the world, however, has to accept that and remove the Bible from print for me having explained that, because the earth is old now and the literature is at Jesus, and that's your situation with it. And this meant that there was no more buying or selling books at this verse. 1611, verse 1, Deuteronomy 34:10. That meant that there was no more buying or selling books at this verse. 1611 Old Testament verse 2, Exodus 33:11, which meant no man hath seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared. So that meant what it said, and you are wrong with your 6,000. How old are the Alps are now on 9/11? How old is the United States and the Grand Canyon in the year 2020, according with 2020 scientific history? Alps, the age of the 18 stratovolcanoes, the west coast of the geological. I already knew this when I was a kid. Why am I reading it now? Isaac era's Isaac Newton, he provided, that's probably why I'm refreshing on him, provided Mathematica, arrived at 6,000, thanks, deduced by just being dumb. James Usher, 16, thanks. The annals of the world arrived at, deduced by, and we still have, proposed, thanks. Led John Lightfoot, I'll get it wrong to cleaning him up, but this is a cleanup. It was estimated at 6,000 year detectives. Science and technology, we're taking it out of print ads. How old was the moon on? In science and technology, answer the question. How old was the moon on 3/7/2018? Was it billions of years? And I already have a firm gut in my feeling it was. It wasn't 6,000. There's nothing you could do to convince anyone that anywhere that it wasn't. So as we continue with the Mobile, that's what it meant. And that's how we were looking up at the old chunk of rock. I'm gonna go make some food. Is that how you feel? Send me an email. I'm mr.r.r.rsh. I need to know. This is undone. Okay, why this one verse now? Why this one? Often Saul changes his name to Paul. Christ. Okay, Christ prophesied that the Son of Man shall be shamefully entreated. Oh wow! Christ even prophesied that I'd be shamefully entreated with this Latin, Greek, English right here. Get this cult off the internet reading this right here. Regretful references to Paul, to his former career, and I explained that he was Saul when in the book of Galatians. Got yeah, I got the internet totally done now. Okay, so now that that's a good feeling and then kicking in the balls, thanks. I'm feeling pretty smiley with that. In just this week, I told you we do it in a month. Such a passage may have, just might have. With the question of God and Moses may not have spoken face to face, may have, and it went okay. They don't know how to read the same may have, and came up with a different. Well, but we still know what it said because Saul changed his name to Paul, to which the writer had access to maybe an imitation. Oops, it was apocryphatic. I told ya. I told you. I finally made it. 2006, I started, and now I have like 6 million into that one record. Yay! The 1023 4004 BC record in Antique was a gift. So let's go look at that. I love that one. Leah gave this to me on my birthday on Christmas in 2016, and she knew I was looking at it. She said, "Hey, we got this old one for you." It was beautiful. I'll go read it in a moment after I look. The Dead Sea Scrolls, my favorite. I've been working those since '96. I'm so happy that we can finally be done. I'm finally done. I am finally done. I handwrote the whole fucking Bible. Wow. And it took a long ass time. So the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it cost me 6 million to handwrite the Bible. The Holy Bible is an expensive fuck you over. So here in this Holy Bible presented to, let's see how much money, on 117 2020 $12. And he said to his daughters, okay, and the little owl, I like this one. And when a man had taken a wife and married her, and it came to pass, that was in Deuteronomy. I just told you I like this one. Look at my white hair. And she is departed out of the house, she may go and be another man's wife. Come to me. No man shall take another, neither or an upper millstone to pledge, for he taketh a man's life to pledge. Don't do it. Remember what day, this is my favorite. Remember what the Lord thy God did unto Miriam. By the way, that we were come forth out of Egypt. So having said that, just okay, 6. I told you there's a lot to go through, including your own website that you don't have anything in it. So it's actually Lena's boring apocrypha. I'd rather read this than your wet, boring nothing, because this is more exciting. There's pictures in it than it's not David Blue. So here, falling apart, the first book of Moses. I love you, Moses. You're antique now. I got all of James Usher. All of James Usher. No, I told you, Dickie, you're next. You're antique and medieval. Antique medieval. So I'm talking about the little baby couple chasing up the internet, antique medieval stupid now, and you're dumb, and we don't want you, and you're a little baby blue. I don't like it. So we're getting you off since '96. You shouldn't have been there, and I'm happy about that. Yay! Take the Bible out of your head. Yay! There's not 6,000 years. Yay! A year before the coming year of Christ, but they tried, and so in the beginning. And he shall put their uncovering of badgers. I love it! Yes, 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 we got it. I told you cherry picking would work. And he shall therein put the covering of the badger's skin. I love this one. The badger's skin, and shall spread it over a cloth wholly of blue. And hear how this beautiful, even this English. This particular antique is out there, but its purity is so good. I mean, like, wow, they did a really good job having gone with from that. This is an amazing one. This is a like a waha, this. So therefore David inquired of the Lord, saying, "Shall I go and smite these Philistines?" Let's answer that question. David was 30 years old when he began to reign and reigned 40 years. So let's continue. And when Absalom's servants came, and the rest of the acts of Joash and all that were he did are not written in the book of the Chronicles of the King of Judah. 130 more shove bounced around and hitting on that. So just I'm cherry picking right now just for fun because I'm chasing this cult off. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So cherry picking through my antique, cherry picking through, and you notice the difference in size references. This is kind of you're a limp little penis, and women don't like you. This is I've got this really hot bod and a really big dick that you like to suck on, and it's so right here, German history. I got a really big dick. You like to suck on that. 1770 through 1866, the Nazi Holocaust. The hospital. I got a really big dick. You like to suck on. History of Poland. I got a really big dick. You like to suck on. History of Poland. I got a really big dick. You like to suck on. You're so dumb. The last Jews that I don't like. I don't like treating you that way. You're so dumb. 6,000 year old morons. The 6,000 year old morons don't know anything about the Red Cross and the Holocaust. 6,000 year old morons don't know anything about the German migration of the Russian Volga in 1761 to 1767, but I do. 6,000 year old morons don't know anything about the Holocaust dialects, but I do because I read them. 6,000 year old morons do not know anything about the Belarus secret, but I do because I read it. 6,000 year old idiots do not know anything about the Hills of Home because I read it. 6,000 years stupid and moral incompetence. We're taking your book out of print because of Rose book. I know, and you've never read it. The Bible and Christian history timelines, and it fits. The Holocaust. We're taking the Bible out because of Chronicles and doing it through the. We're taking the Bible out through the world must know, and we're doing it through the concentration camps at Dachau, 1833 through 1945, and it will come down when the wall came down. Thanks for a book. The Americans Forgotten Pandemic, which right there, you're in COVID-19 to the bitter end. So your Forgotten Pandemic. You got your book still. How great proportions of the population suffered clinically recognizably diseases of influenza in the United States in fall of 1918. So going back to there, I told you I'd take back you with the era of Lord Kelvin. That's where I'm from. That's where our science came from. You lapsed and got smart and lapsed at the same time. You got a double-edged sword, and so nothing changed, and you just didn't calculate Earth history right. And at Minerchi, it of course falls out in the Minertial patterns. It falls out in the Minertial patterns. The existence of the Gospel of Judas is first attested by the late 2nd century Bishop Irenaeus. What did it say? And others say that Cain was from the superior. So this is actually part of where I'm from. The absolute power and confess the Esau, Korah, and the Sodomites. So what they have there, there's a lot, but they have nothing correct. For wisdom, Sophia snatched them up, which is a warning of it. You're getting it all wrong. They don't have the Quran. So just not even how not Sufi's collapse. All the demons and the first rulers together gazed up toward the underside of the newly shining waters. Through the light that they saw in the image of the waters, Sufi's collapse. Here's another favorite. Okay, there's more of these than there are Bibles. Unless you do what I've done. Enoch's message. Now, my children, let me urge you to love justice. So there's actually more of those than there are Bible verses, and yet we have it in Ethiopicville. And he, the angel, said unto me, observe, Enoch, these heavenly tablets, and read what is written thereon, and mark every individual fact. These are actually like that, except I'm not going to read them right now. I've already done that. So mark every individual fact as I just do your cherry picking. John 1:18. And when Esau saw Jacob coming, his father and his mother remembered that Jacob was alone to him, going, oh, okay, you're alone, and you're 6,000 years or you're not. I don't really give a shit, but there's not 6,000 years of age. We're getting this cult off the internet in 1 month, and closely follow Jacob. And 1 month they got gleanings from 1 month they got. We're taking you out. The usual therapist imposes himself on the patient without being aware of it. And we're taking you out because you're mentally ill. Yeah, no, you're not aware of it. Unless we believe that God renews the work of creation every day. God and Moses spoke face to face every day. God and Moses spoke face to face. Whoever desires to confine himself to an emotional relationship to God without perceiving the living world, such as the earth is not 6,000 years of age, without him face to face, and without recognizing the life therein, such as the 136 million year white cliffs of Dover, robs mankind, so such as the 770 of the Alps, is due to initially also what blessings to it. So when you were in school and you were taught the age of the Alps, you figured it out and you knew it. And that's what that meant. So now when you're homosexual great apes, that's where you're at. The homosexuality is actually where you're at with the bleeding menstrual patterns and bleeding great apes following along well with the legend of Jesus. You're bleeding mating great apes. Mating great apes. Mating great apes. Okay, we're gonna come up with some weirds out of that one. And by the external ties of traditional transmitter religion and morals, as mating great apes, is human evolution proposed, and knows nothing piety nor goodness. Well, pretty soon, as mating great apes is 6,000 year earth mating great apes, as 6,000 year earth mating great apes, you are. Soon lose even the weak hold, which is the external ties to being remaining at 6,000 year earth, the moral and competent great apes, who whatsoever is isolated is confusing the earth. You can open your eyes now. There's not 6,000 years of age. Wholeness alone is reliable. That leads men to salvation. See, cult? That was an apocryphatic reunification into something stable. I love you. Martin Buber, yeah. Something stable. Something stable as compared to nobody has ever seen God. There was seen the bride, two devils standing at God's bar of judgment, similar to one and another all of their limbs. Their mouths were wide open like those of wolves. Thanks, Lilith. Their eyes are blazing like glass that is illumined from within. So, call you guys, you're just an apocryphatic web mill, as are the no more buying or selling of books on these. I'm done. I'm 6 million into no more buying or selling of books. I'm a bad Sparky. So, having broken that, don't do it. Creation is not a hurdle on the road to God and Moses speaking face to face. It is the road itself. God and Moses speaking face to face. Creatures are placed in my way so that I may find my way with them to God and Moses speaking face to face, and somebody reading a book properly. The real God is the creator, and all beings stand before him in relation to one another in his creation. God and Moses speaking face to face, cult on the internet. The real God lets no shorter line reach him than each man's longest. Real man. Really God and Moses speaking face to face. His name's Jehovah. It makes sense out of that. It says gravity. It's a real God is as fucking simple as gravity. Go to my website. I'll teach you how to pray. Only when all relations in curtail. Your church systems are not actually no. Yeah. So next on your churches, I'm taking out the prints to show you what you're standing up and looking at. When I saw the multitudes, I had 4 disciples in Matthew chapter 4. When I saw the multitudes, I had 4 disciples in Matthew chapter 4. Cult on the internet. Worst sermon that Jesus ever saw. When I saw the multitudes, because you spent the time to put it in the first person and you followed him along, there were 4 disciples in Matthew chapter 4 and not a crowd, and no one was around. So it being that no one was around, he was alone. Cult on the internet collapse that. No one was around for the worst sermon that Jesus never heard. So or that never spoke. The historical Moses who returned to Egypt is neither a magician nor a visionary. He knows precisely who Pharaoh is. He knows precisely what to mean to talk to Pharaoh on the way that he, Moses, will have to talk to him. And he has resolved to do so. As far as concerns the historical situation, he is no, get off the internet, national. As far as my concern, his national liberty. You're stuck. So the ways of Moses did no private offerings, no K and no W, no private offerings, but only command offerings and communal feasts. So that's what I'm doing right here. With Jethro, matters are different. So it's a good book. These much discussed alternative empty throne of God and Moses speaking face to face, because Christians on the internet, as we repeatedly find in the history of religion, Christians still on the internet and God trying to get up and trying to get the 6,000 year earth. It's not the Christian. Come to my website. No, let me explain your whole book. Human, you're not. As Christian, you're not human. Shrug your shoulders. You need a little refresher on how to think. Hand washing. Natalia Yadayim is a common practice within Judaism. During the time of Yeshua, the practices and rules had begun to mount up so that they became burdensome. No one's ever seen God. Really burdensome. Recite before drying hands. Baruch atah Adonai Elohim melech Hello, Pastor. After service, I'd like to really discuss the legitimization of whether or not the Alps are for real. They say that all good things must come to an end. Yeah, so 770 are for real, even though we knew it, which is kind of weird. Well, where are we at right now if we already knew it, which I knew when I was young right now? So we're now looking at the Bible a second time, and it's above us, it's below us, and it's the brain fart. We didn't have to do this ourselves the first time when we first got it, and make sure. So what I did is go through the entire King James Version of the Bible and deconstructed it at the letters, and it had a weird effect on itself. And now we have a situation where Josephus, once y'all dead, then Jezebel, the wife of Aha, understood what signs Elijah has wrought and how he had slain her prophets. She was angry at about a 6,000 year old moron with a book you can't read. Ptolemy is the son of now Antonius. I like this. See, it's hard words. Marcus, just like your Bible with God not in it, and a picture. And Elias took the government upon himself alone. So I'll just go over here. So this one has 26 translations. Let's see the verse you don't know how to read. Okay, Deuteronomy, verse you don't know how to read. How many might be in this one? Go to the internet. We got to do it this way. You got to read your entire Bible and have it explained to you. Fucking them all 6,000 retard. The entire fucking thing, you're so fucking stupid. When thou hast made an end, that was nice to scream a little bit. Stupid and more retard 6,000. Moses commanded us a law, so let's read it. And all these signs and wonders which the Lord sent him to do in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all the servants and of all his hands, none like him, for all the signs of and wonders which the Lord sent him to do, he unequal for all the signs. Oh, there it is. And there was not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face, and there hath not arisen a prophet, and there has never arisen in Israel a prophet like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. No one's ever seen God. John 1:18. Try again. Go away. And when the Lord singled out face to face, no one's ever seen God taken out. And when the Lord held converse face to face, converse, you missed a word, conversion, conversation. You're typing great apes now because you don't know that word in your book. Then the children of Israel and all of the year 6,000 year typing grade 8 now working at NASA, and the children of Israel as 6,000 year typing grade 8 flying around floating in space went up against the children of 6,000 year typing grade 8s and solving cults everywhere, such as World Vision. The great apes at World Vision engaged to the Benjamites. The great apes at World Vision marched against the Benjamites. The great apes at World Vision and put themselves in array against Gibeon. Great apes at World Vision arranged themselves in battle formation. You think the great apes at World Vision might be willing to help the daughters of their children a little bit more than they do? The 6,000 year magic living great apes and the children of Benjamin went out against the temple, and the children who know that the Alpsar 770 million year was with the 6,000 year stupid, immoral, incompetent great apes working at solving cults everywhere, and like World Vision and make Sally against them, and we're drawn from the city. So World Vision, yeah, hole in your head gospel. Kurt Cobain also blew his head off. Thanks for the book. For weather cometh of the north. God is terrible majesty. Thanks for a book and moral retard. Solving cults everywhere and World Vision here next type thing. Where would you take it and where you put it? Where would you're over $28 fucking trillion in debt. You got nothing in your book because you're really stupid. You can't make a good decision. You don't carry any form of wisdom in that book because you teach it as legend. Got to collect now. You're all like anamorphic furry still. It's gross. I hate you guys. I hate humanity. This world is incompetent and stupid. You're as slow as molasses and as stupid as dogs. But my dog was smarter than you, so that's better. Fuck you. The Matterhorn's the old rock.